What is up, guys? TEJ here, and in my hands I have what might just be Taylormade's most forgiving line of drivers yet, and in today's video we're going to put them to the test. So let's go. Right, guys, so as you could probably gather from the intro, the big emphasis this year from Taylormade is on MOI, higher MOI, which equates to more forgiveness, and it's really all in the name of Qi10. Qi stands for Quest for Inertia, and 10 stands for 10K total MOI, which is an MOI value that is considered extremely high in the industry and about as forgiving as it gets in a driver. Now, this year we have 3 different models in the Qi10 lineup. We have the LS, which is going to boast the lowest spin and max adjustability with an 18-gram movable front weight. We have the Qi10 MAX, which is going to hit that 10K total MOI value and is what Taylormade is calling their most forgiving driver ever. And then additionally, we also have the standard Qi10, which kind of blends the forgiveness of the MAX with the lower spin and distance benefits of the LS. Now, aside from the 3 different heads, the main things you're going to notice that differ in these over the Stealth models is a new carbon fiber infinity crown that stretches all the way from the front to the back, the toe to the heel. It covers the entirety of the crown, unlike the Stealth models that just had a carbon fiber back piece. Additionally, we also have a 3rd generation carbon twist face in these drivers that is now a navy blue color as opposed to the red in the Stealth models. As far as retail pricing goes, you are going to be looking at $630 US for the LS and then $600 for the standard and max models, same as we saw with Stealth 2. In terms of stock shafts, you are going to be looking at the Mitsubishi Tensei AV Limited blue or black for the LS head, a Fujikura Ventus TR blue in the standard head, and then a Fujikura Speeder NX that was actually co-designed with Taylormade to have slightly lower torque in the max head. The reason it has slightly lower torque is to make the golf ball a little bit easier to turn over for people who need it. Now, in terms of our testing today and how we're going to go about it, we're set up on the range with GC Quad. We're going to gauge some numbers with my current gamer Taylormade Stealth 2 Plus, and then we're going to compare it to the Qi10 models and see how they stack up from a looks, feel, and performance perspective. I'm pumped, so let's get after it. Alrighty, guys, so the way we're going to work through our testing is we're going to start with my current gamer Taylormade Stealth 2 Plus 9 degree, and then we'll move up into the Qi10 models. We'll start with the Max, then we'll go standard, and then LS. So I put this in the bag about, I don't know, 2.5, 3 months ago, and I'll be honest, I've never driven the golf ball better in my life. So very excited to see how this stacks up to the new Qi10 stuff. Now, I have all these drivers set 9 degrees standard. I normally play my driver at 9.75, but just trying to give you guys the most accuracy in terms of looks, face angle, and whatnot, I want to leave everything in the standard position. Now, my Stealth 2 Plus is set up a little bit differently. It's a My Stealth 2 head, so it's completely blacked out. There's no red face on it or anything, but just looking down at it, I mean, I like the look of Stealth 2 Plus. I think it's an improvement over the original Stealth. At address, it sets up a little bit better to my eye. That being said, face angle, very square, clean head, nice size, nice shape. Overall, lot to like. Now, the one complaint I have with Stealth 2 Plus, and the one thing I will be looking for as we move into 2024, is a little bit more spin. Now, at 9.75, the spin kind of hovers around 2,300 RPMs. For me, as a drawer of the golf ball with a driver, I want that closer to 2,600 to 2,800 RPM so the golf ball can stay in the air and curve consistently, at least. Like that one right there. Good numbers, 2,100 spin, 170 ball, 295 carry, 10 launch, little draw. So, I mean, the numbers aren't bad, but for me personally, that's what I'm looking for in a new driver. But I mean, like I said, I've driven the golf ball very well with this thing, and so I'm not going to have a ton of complaints. The Qi10 stuff is going to have to be really good to beat this out, if we're being honest. Towed that. That's not gonna have much spin. 2,000, 169, 297 carry, 11.4 launch, little draw once again. Now, in this driver, my current gamer shaft, Graphite Design Tour AD DI 7TX, untipped, 43 3/4 inches. That's the same one we're gonna use in the Qi10 heads, just to make sure we get the most accurate comparison possible. Missed that a little, kind of low-faced it. 2,300, 169, 9 launch, 287 carry, again, tight draw. I mean, there's really a lot to like about this driver, and like I said earlier, it's gonna be hard to beat. So we're gonna move into the Qi10 MAX to start, because that's the one I don't really think I'm gonna fit into, and so because of that, I wanna start there and then kind of move into the ones that I think are gonna suit me a little bit better. Now, Qi10 MAX, the big thing this year is they hit that elusive 10,000 grams per centimeter squared MOI value. So this is, according to Taylormade, Taylormade their most forgiving driver they've ever made. It's a pretty bold statement. This one should be the most draw bias out of the lineup, should be the easiest to hit, easiest to launch. This is the one that Nelly Corda is currently using. Looking down at this, definitely a different shape. It's a lot more rounded in the back, a little bit shallower face depth. It's just a bigger looking head. There's really no other way around it. Gives me maybe G430 Max vibes. It just looks like a big forgiving head. It's probably the best way I could describe it. I really like the new Infinity crown. It looks really good. Got that gloss carbon fiber. When it's sunny like it is out here today, you can really kind of see that weave, and it looks pretty good. I really like it a lot. Navy blue face, which I think is an improvement over the red face, just looks a lot cleaner. But right off the bat, tight draw, 166, 277, 2900, 10 launch. I mean, that's about exactly what I would expect from this driver. A little bit lower ball speed just because there's so much mass pushed back in the head, a little bit more spin, shorter carry, but probably gonna hit more fairways with this driver. Yeah, and that's a little bit of a toe snipe right there. 166, 2300, 250, 8.3 launch. Unfortunately, that's the only thing with these draw biased heads is when you're somebody who draws the driver, you almost don't want the draw biasness because it makes it want to go further left. Yeah, that was really heely. And normally for me, I think that's one that would kind of gear and come back to the right, and it still stayed left. 162 ball, 2900 spin, 8.5 launch, 270 carry. So I really think that this is just set up to be more suited for somebody who struggles with a slice, who really wants help drawing the golf ball. That's exactly what I'm seeing. Low faced it, once again, draw 164, 3000, 265, 8 launch. I mean, it's pretty simple. This one just doesn't quite fit me in my style of play. 168, a little bit faster there, 9 launch, 2500, 278 carry, longest of the bunch, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty simply a higher spinning, more draw bias head is the way I would describe this. Seems forgiving. I mean, it's not one that I would probably put through its paces on the golf course just because it's not one that I see really fitting me, but for what it is, I think for people who are looking for that forgiveness, or for somebody who really has been like a long time ping user, this is going to be the one to try because it's easily going to be the most forgiving head in the lineup, and like I said earlier, it's what Taylormade is calling their most forgiving driver ever made. So move up into the Qi10 standard model now. This is where it gets a little bit more fun because I think that these are going to fit me a lot better than this does. Taking a look at Qi10 standard right off the bat, I really like the look of it. I mean, I didn't mind Stealth2 Plus. I actually thought that looked really good, but the bottom of this is just a cleaner, simpler look. It's a lot more in line with what we're seeing from other OEMs, especially with Titleist, for example. I think a lot of people who haven't liked Stealth or Stealth2 because of the red face, because of the obnoxiousness, are really going to enjoy the look of the new Qi10 stuff. Looking at the crown, I mean, it looks spectacular. I love the carbon weave. This one sets up more square to my eye. Definitely not super draw bias looking. Smaller, a little bit more pear shaped compared to the Max, but it's not small by any means. Missed that a little bit, kind of low faced it. Definitely a little bit more fade bias compared to the Max. 166, 272, 3200, 10.7 launch. A little bit of a miss there. That's a better one, but once again, I mean, it's very clearly more fade bias. 169, 11 launch, 2900, 283 carry, little draw, very, very slight draw. Feel wise, to me, it doesn't really feel crazy hot by any means. It almost feels a little bit soft. I don't really know how to describe it. I think, especially when you're comparing it to my current gamer, which is going to be the lowest spinning model in the Stealth2 lineup, there's more mass forward, so it's going to feel a little bit faster, a little bit hotter. This to me doesn't feel quite as hot, but that being said, I mean, still 169 ball, so not bad by any means. That's better. It's probably my best one. 170, 286, 9.5 launch, 2600. That's exactly the numbers I'm actually looking for as we move into the new year. I want 26 to 2800 just so that golf ball stays in the air while it's trying to turn over. When it gets too low, it just nosedives, especially if you kind of hit one in that high toe spot where there's just very little spin. I mean, it really is it's a tough thing to hit far and straight at the same time when you do that. So love those numbers. Yeah, that's really good right there. 171, 291, 2600, 10.4 launch. Very good numbers. Actually very impressive to me that this is over 170 and this is not even going to be the one with the most mass forward. That's very promising. That was hit decent. 169, 285, 2774, 10-4 launch. Really good numbers. Exactly what I'm looking for in a driver. We'll go one more with this, and then we'll move up into the LS model. I really like how this sets up too. It's very square, which I mean obviously is a good thing. I don't really like anything setting up open or closed. I really just like it to look very square to dress. So when I'm picking, you know, say an intermediate target out here, I can just align the face. I don't have to think about it at all. This thing is very good from that perspective. Yeah, that was a big miss hit, and that thing went dead straight. 166, 3000, 275, 10-3 launch. That's promising to me, because the big thing this year, as I've mentioned, is forgiveness, is higher MOI. That was a severe heel strike, and although the numbers dropped a little bit, maybe 3-4 miles an hour, that thing went dead straight. So, I mean, not too bad. All right, that's a good one to end on. Not the greatest strike, but 170 ball, 289 carry, 10 launch, 2600. Really good numbers. I actually really like this Qi10. Let's move up into the LS model, see what happens. But so far, this one surprised me a little bit. When I first took these out of the package, I thought, I don't know, it seemed to me like a little bit of a dark horse. And just based on the numbers, it's really good, especially for me who's trying to draw it. A little bit more spin, same ball speed, seems a little bit more forgiving than Stealth 2 Plus, so I like it. All right, Qi10 LS. We've got an adjustable weight in here. Now, Taylormade didn't really claim anything about forgiveness when I was kind of reading their press release document. So I don't know if this is supposed to be more forgiving. I don't know if the MOI value is higher than Stealth 2 Plus. I'd be lying to sit here and say I knew that. But usually this is just going to be the lowest spin head in the lineup. You're not really expecting this head to be super forgiving by any means, but hopefully it retains a little bit of forgiveness, but also still the low spin characteristics that a lot of higher speed players are looking for. Looking down at this, to me, this looks like a smaller head and a little bit of a deeper face compared to the standard model. Definitely compared to the Max model. Looks good. I mean, I really, like I said, I love the Infinity Crown. I'm not a huge gloss guy, but I'll accept it with these because the way the carbon weave looks in the sun is ridiculously cool. To me, this one sets up maybe a skosh closed. I gotta be honest, at least in comparison to the standard model, to me, it looks like this one just wants to toe in a little bit. Now, what's interesting about that is the Sim, when that originally came out, that one to me also looked like it wanted to toe in. So for guys who like to open up the face, they could take loft off and the face got a little bit more square. So I don't know, that's maybe a little bit of an interesting tidbit. Holy crap, that is a way different feeling. That feels way hotter. 168, 2600, 285, 10 launch. I don't know if that was the golf ball or what, but that felt like I was hitting a wood bat. Yeah, that feels much different. 10 launch, 167, 286, 2400. Ball speed, to be honest with you, I mean, could be a little bit of golf ball, but not the quickest. But that feel is, it's sim-like feel, if we're being completely honest. Definitely a little bit lower spin than the standard. I think we're maybe 200 RPMs lower. See if I can get one with decent ball speed here. I'd think this would be the quickest for sure. I try to go after that, and I just snipe the living crap out of it. 169, 2100, 9.3 launch. That's gotta be decent, right? 169, 295, 2100, 10.7, that's better. The only thing is when you're moving from head to head, you're kind of trying to adjust to what the heads are actually doing and the different CG placement in each head. So it does take a couple shots to kind of get warmed up and really find where that center of gravity is. But that was good numbers there, very comparable to Stealth 2 Plus. I mean, the feel is absolutely insane. It literally feels like a wood bat. 169, 283, 2740, 9.4 launch, miss hit there. I kind of know that this is coming out with low spin, and so I'm trying to hold the face to make sure it doesn't nosedive on me. Now, low faced it. 166, 72, 2300, 273. That's terrible. I can't leave you guys with crappy numbers. I gotta lock in. That's good. 170, 292, 2484, 10.6. It seems like on decent ones, it might be a skosh higher spinning than Stealth 2 Plus. Similar launch window. Oh dear, that's just rough right there. 168, 77, 278, 2200. For me right now, what I'm thinking, to be honest, is the only way I think we could get this LS model to work for me personally would probably be a 10.5 head, just to make sure I'm getting enough spin and I can release it without worrying about it kind of just toe sniping or coming out with absolutely no spin. So that's kind of where I'm at. 170. The other thing that is bothering me a little bit is the face angle. It's just towed in a little bit. There's really no other way to put it. So you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. To try to negate what I'm seeing with the face angle, I am going to take a little bit of loft off, and that should kind of open up the face for us. Yeah, that sits better to me. This is very sim-like, just in the way the face angle works for sure. and that's much better. Very low launch, 9 launch, 2100, 170, 291. I think that's all I needed to do, is just get the face angle in a spot where my mind is a little bit more comfortable with it and kind of releasing it. You know, the thing is, like, that flight's good, those numbers are decent, but if you're gonna draw the golf ball, it's just a little bit too low spin for that. Yeah, now it's going a little bit straighter. Missed that, 166, 280, 84, 2350. Just push that, 168.9, 2600. I mean, I'd be lying to sit here and say it's faster than my Stealth 2 Plus. I'm just not seeing that. All right, decent one to end on. Dead straight. 170, 295, 2200, 10 launch. When you hit it good, the numbers are good. It's just, it's not quite set up right for my style of play in my game. That's really the best way I could put it. But let's go back to Stealth 2 Plus. Hit a couple with this. This just sits more square to my eye in the 9-degree position. And I mean, that flight's better. I missed that. 168, 95, 2300. Yeah, that's kind of a little bit of a snipey one, but 171 ball, 96, 2100. I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say that at 9 degrees, these LS heads just don't spin enough for me. There's really no other way around it. 170, 289, 2300, 87. All right, now looking at standard Qi10, it definitely looks a little bit bigger than the LS model for sure. I didn't really notice it at first, but this does look a lot more TSR2-like. 168, 3000, 97, 278. Now once again, see, I was trying to like hold off the LS head so they didn't snipe. Now I can release this and it's not gonna snipe. I gotta readapt to this. Much higher. I mean, yeah, that was a little bit of a bigger draw than I'd like to see, but 11-1, 2400, 168. Yeah, out of the 3 heads, this is easily the one for me. I didn't hit that great, but 169, 290, 11 launch, 2400. I mean, what's not to like about that? I think in conclusion, guys, we'll start with Qi10 MAX. Qi10 MAX, very easily, in my opinion, the most forgiving, most draw bias, most high launch driver in the lineup. If you're somebody who really struggles with that, easily gonna be the one to test. Qi10 LS, the Stealth 2 Plus competitor. For me personally, I find it to be maybe a skosh higher spin than Stealth 2 Plus. I think the face angle sits maybe a skosh closed, very similar to Sim, as I mentioned earlier. I really love the look of this driver. I think that the new Infinity Crown is easily the best thing Taylormade has done in probably the last decade from a looks perspective. The navy face is really nice looking as well. Head shape, a little bit deeper, a little bit smaller head. Overall, it's a very solid head. I think the feel is another thing that is vastly different than Stealth 2 Plus, much more comparable to Sim. Like I've mentioned like 5 times now, it feels like a wood bat. Overall, it's solid. I think you really have to test it to truly know if it's gonna work for you. For me personally, if I was gonna game this, I would have to start at a 10.5 just because these LS heads in the 9-degree setting just don't quite give me enough spin. And I didn't wanna jack this up to 9.75 degrees because that would close the face even more, and it's really just not something that I wanted to look at. But overall, big improvement on looks. The dark horse in this lineup for me has been the Qi10 standard model. It's giving me enough spin to hit the draw that I want to hit. The ball speed's there. It looks really good. It feels maybe a skosh soft, which maybe isn't my favorite thing ever, but this one is the one that I really like. And if I had to choose today, definitely I would go with the standard Qi10 model. But that being said, there's more testing to be done. I really want to get this in a 10.5, and we'll probably do another video comparing this in a 10.5 to this in a 9 to my current gamer, just to kind of see what the numbers look like, see if I can get a little bit more consistent ball flight. But as a whole, I think it's a solid release from Taylormade. I think the biggest improvement this year is easily the looks. Definitely a step up from Stealth and Stealth 2. I've never really been a big fan of the red face, so I think that's improved. I think the most impressive thing for Taylormade has been the fact that their athletes have switched already into the Qi10 models. We didn't always see that, especially with Stealth and Stealth 2 Plus, but the guys have pretty much jump shipped onto these Qi10s. So maybe once you get them dialed in, they are something special. We'll see how our testing continues to go. I'll keep you guys updated. But yeah, that's a video. That's a review. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a like, comment if you have any questions at all, or shoot me a DM via Instagram. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel and you click that notification bell so you're notified anytime that we post a new video. Additionally, make sure you're following us on our other social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. There's always great content on those channels as well. We'll catch you in the next video. Peace.